is happening, everybody, and welcome back to the H&N AutoWorks YouTube channel. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting inside of our new project. This is a 2003 Mazda Protege 5. So, you know, we had to have the wagon, and this is it's just such a time capsule, right? It's such a blast from the early 2000s. When we have leather interior, nice bolstering here on these seats. I mean, these are so comfortable. I drove back, maybe an hour in this thing, and it was just the smoothest, most comfortable ride I've had. We've got a period correct CD player. We've got this faux carbon trim here on our radio bezel. I mean, even the shift knob and boot. Look, we got some bonus change. I mean, this is just a super cool hatchback, wagon, whatever you want to call it. Right now, it looks like we're sitting at 209,596 miles, and hopefully a lot more to come. I mean, look down here, we even have ourselves a little coin slot. So in case you're coming through those tolls, you can go ahead and pay your fare. So really excited to get into this thing. I mean, it is just a gem, right? The dash is great. The windshield does have some cracks in it. Not a big deal. Honestly, the glass for this thing is incredibly cheap. But it is just clean, relatively speaking, no tears, no damage to the interior. Now this does need a good detail, which is exactly why I am at a car wash today. We're going to be cleaning up this engine bay. We're going to be cleaning out the inside of this thing, but I just wanted to introduce you guys to our new project. guys, in that last clip you saw we went ahead and got the engine bay all cleaned up. I did clean up the inside a little bit as well, but got it in the shop. We have a couple things to do. First off, we're going to start with this valve cover gasket. Now this thing has been leaking, and we did also get the gasket that comes with the new hardware seal, so that'll be really great. Couple other things we've also had to do to this is we had some battery corrosion on our terminal, so I went ahead and got it cleaned up, got a new one put on courtesy of one of my coworkers. Now I still got to do the negative side, but we'll get to that when we get a chance. Now there's a couple other things. I had a leaking radiator cap, went ahead and got that replaced as well. So for now that'll do. We do have an aluminum one on the way since this one is original. Now got a bunch of parts over here, including our Valvoline VR1. We got some belts. Now this is going to be for alternator, power steering. We have our valve cover gasket with all of that hardware that I was talking about. We do also have 2 coil pack boots, and then also 2 of our spark plug wires in the NGK, as well as our plugs, our Valvoline VR1. We've got our Fram coolant as well, and an oil filter. So quite a few things to do on this. So I'm going to go ahead and get it up in the air, and I will catch you guys once we're ready to get this thing draining. Alright, so now we're going to go under this thing, and I do know that there's going to be some oil in this area. The valve cover gasket is leaking pretty good, which is why we have a replacement for it. So a lot of this is residual now. If this pan is leaking, it's not a big deal. Pretty easy to get to that oil pan gasket. But if you look up top, you can see it was just running down. It's not a huge deal at all. The underside of this thing is, I mean, super clean. Like, look at this. No rust under here at all. These quarters look great. All back here looks great. I mean, any surface stuff that you see is not a big deal. So back here, you got a little tiny bit here, but that's just on the surface. I mean, it's nothing. And then over here, the same thing. Got a little bit right here. Not a big deal. All that stuff will clean up pretty well, but super clean. A couple things it's gonna need. Gonna need to get some new sway bar end links back here. Both of them are pretty shot. And then I did notice a little seep right here on that rear caliper, so keep an eye on that. Brake fluid. Really impressed with how clean this is. I mean, look at these fuel lines. Oh my god. And the vapor lines. Hey, there's a little rock stuck in there. Up here in the front, so if we look at these lower control arm bushings, yeah, gonna definitely need to do that, but that's fine. We're doing some suspension work anyway. Both of these tie rod ends need to get replaced, and then I did see that this CV axle right here is starting to sling a little bit of grease, so probably gonna go ahead and replace that as well. But overall, I mean, super impressed with this thing. Transmission looks good. Don't see anything crazy under here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this oil drained, and then I will catch you guys while it's draining. So while we got this drain plug out, I am going to go ahead and replace it with this brand new drain plug. Now it's important to make sure that the thread pitches are the same, which I did. Have the Dorman part number right here for you guys. Crack this thing open. There you go. That's the Dorman part number for the Mazda Protege 5. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here now that this thing is just about done draining. Oh, it's dark in here. Let me get you guys some light. There you go, so we got this thing dripping out. Nothing in there that is looking suspicious, which is great. We'll let this finish getting the last little bits out. Then we're going to clean up this oil pan real quick and get this drain plug put in. And it goes without saying that when you're doing an oil change, you're going to want to go ahead and switch out. So this is a Purolator filter. Got ourselves a Bosch filter right here. So this is the number 3300. Take it out. Got ourselves a nice Bosch filter. Now it's always important to make sure, put them side by side, make sure they look the same. I like to stick them right on top of each other to make sure they're also the same diameter, which they are. Now what's really important here is the thread pitch in here. So we need to make sure that this is going to work up in here. Now if you don't know, your oil filter is actually right back there. You see that? Right there, that's where she sits. So we're gonna go ahead and get this brand new Bosch filter lubed up. And I'm not gonna pre-fill it because the way it sits is like this and I don't feel like pouring oil all over myself. So we're gonna get this fitted up and get that new drain plug put in. And then we should be good to lower it down, pull off this valve cover, and get that valve cover gasket done. All right, so I went ahead and got the oil pan cleaned up a little bit. Now there is some goop up here still, but we can see a lot more. Got our new oil drain plug in. Now this is a rubber washer right here instead of your traditional crush washer. If you're using a regular crush washer, you're going to want to go ahead and do it to 22 to 33 foot-pounds. If you're going to be doing a washer like this, I honestly recommend just using your judgment. What you want to do is see a little bit of squish, but not too much. And you don't want to go too heavy because you don't end up stripping out the threads up here. Then we also got our oil filter up there and got a nice little smiley face on it so that we know we did it. Make sure we got it nice and hand tight, and that's all she wrote. So now what I'm going to do is lower this thing down and we're going to pull that valve cover off. Now in order to do that valve cover, we're going to take some other components off, but we'll get to that right now. All right, now that we got our oil drain plug back on and our new oil filter on, we need to go ahead and pull this valve cover off. So a couple things we're gonna have to do is unplug these connectors here for our coil packs, because we're gonna need to go ahead and remove our coil packs and also our spark plug wires. We're also gonna go ahead and unplug the sensors over here and here. Where's my little push tab? There it is on the bottom of this one. So this one's a little trickier. And then down here, you're going to have another connector right here. And then we're going to have another connector right down here that you'll need to pull off of the power steering. So we'll get this one disconnected. And then what we'll do is flip this harness out of the way. And we'll go ahead and start pulling our coil packs and our spark plugs out. All right, so now that that harness is tucked back here, we're going to go ahead and pop these out. Now we are going to be replacing these spark plug wires. I've got some brand new ones. And then I also have new plugs. And now you might notice that this coil pack, ooh, that one's not coming off of there. You might notice that this coil pack, oof, that's not good. This thing is in there. There we go. You might notice that this coil pack is brand new. That is because I had a coil pack fail. Now this one here I should get a replacement for as well. I am seeing a little bit of burn on the inside here, so I will get another one of these. But now that we have that off, it's going to be 4 10 mils. I got 2 and 2. We're going to take those off. We're going to pull these up. Now we do have some spark plug. Oh yeah, God, you can see there's some oil in there. So that is another reason why we're doing our valve cover gasket. Is inside of here before. Ooh, that one is filling up with oil. That is not good. Well, it almost looks like there's a boot or something in there as well. Could just be the reflection from the oil though. And then, obviously you can't see that one. So I'll pull this off and show you guys what it looks like in there. All right, so we got all the coil packs out. So you can see this one, this cylinder, some oil under that coil pack, and this one oil. So these two are leaking the most. This one's fairly dry still, and then this one is also fairly dry. So that's good. Now we do have new spark plugs going in as well. Also, before you pull your valve cover, don't forget to pop your PCV valve off. And if you want to test if it's good, just give it a little shake You should hear a rattle in there. It's exactly what you want to hear. Also, you could try the push and pull method. This is usually done best on a new one, but you can blow air through each side and see which way the air escapes, and if that's the correct orientation, then you know that it is good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this oil out of here. We're just going to do a wick method. I'm going to drop cloth down in there, let it suck it up, pull it out. I don't want a bunch of oil going into our cylinders when we put our new spark plugs in. So I'm going to get these spark plugs out. Now if we come over here, you can see that the bottom portion here is swollen compared to this one. It doesn't have a bunch of oil in it, which is exactly why we have replacements here now. The new coil pack came with one, so I don't have to. It'll have a spare, which is nice, but I always recommend having a spare coil pack on you, because you never know when you might need it. This one right here, you can actually see has been arcing a little bit, and that is not good. So we'll have to definitely get that taken care of. So I'm going to go ahead and get this valve cover off after I get these spark plugs out, and I'll show you guys what those spark plugs look like. Alrighty, so the valve cover is off. Spark plugs are still in here. I'm letting these wick up a little bit more, but valve cover is off now. Oh yeah, so not great. I mean, not super great. Trying to peek down in here. Hard to do with the camera, but oh, just kidding. I guess I could just pull this back a little bit. So obviously these seals were leaking, so definitely gonna need to get those done, but you know, gonna need a new timing belt for sure. So that is also going to be next on the list. Timing belt. Yikes. Cracky. Other than that, looks pretty good in here. Looks like it has had some consistent oil changes and has been well maintained for having 209,000 miles. This looks pretty good in here. I am not going to lie to you. Definitely what I was hoping to see. Nothing crazy on any of these. I mean, this looks like a solid engine. So aside from the timing belt needing to be replaced, which isn't a huge deal, is actually on my list, judging by the conditions of these serpentine belts, which we will be replacing today, which I have just right over here somewhere. We'll be replacing the timing belt, the water pump, and all the accoutrement behind the timing cover. I'm also going to get new timing cover plastic since these are all swollen just due to age and being saturated in oil. If you look kind of down here, it's going to be real hard to see, but it almost looks like my water pump is rubbing on the plastic down there for the timing cover, so I will definitely be doing all of that. But for now, let's get this cleaned up. Let's get all this silicone off of here, and let's get the new valve cover gasket on. So this is the old valve cover gasket, and you can just see that, I mean, it's mostly RTV here. This gasket is old for sure. It's crunchy. Oh my goodness. This thing is hard like a rock. So definitely why it was leaking. Oh yeah, just brittle. So we're gonna go ahead and get that replaced. We got a brand new one over here. I got this from Victor Riens. Pretty excited to get this on. It also does come with all of the seals. If you pull these down, are actually seals in these caps. So comes with all new ones, which I'm stoked about. So let's get this old one off and get the new one on. Let's get this cleaned up and then put the valve cover back on and get these spark plugs out. Alrighty, so I went ahead and got the old valve cover gasket off. Now, that old valve cover gasket was crusty and chunky, but this one, nice and soft. Now, if your kit did not come with these, I definitely recommend saving all of the little bits that come out of here, but your valve cover gasket should come with a new set of these. And then once you get your valve cover gasket on your valve cover, slip them up from the bottom and they'll help hold everything in place, as well as firmly pushing down. There's little tabs that'll grab on there. Now the part number for the 2.0 Protege 5 that I have is right here. Now that valve cover gasket fit great, and I definitely would recommend it. Nice, I mean, no high spots, no weird locations. So I mean, this thing is seated on here perfectly. I'm gonna come over here now and we're gonna pull these wicks out and see what they're looking like. Should be pretty saturated. I got a good amount on that one, and got a good amount on that one. So you can see the oil that we're trying to pull out of there. Now let's take a look and see how they look in here. So that one's still got a good amount in it. So does that one. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of that out of there, and then we're gonna pull those spark plugs out and get all of this stuff cleaned up right here. All right, guys, so I went ahead and got the spark plugs out. As you can see right here, we have cylinders 2 and 3 that had oil in them. Obviously, they're going to be really, really gross, but take a gander, if you will. Oof, yikes. So that's cylinder 1, and then cylinder 4 looks okay. Number 3, however, just like number 1. So this thing has been running rough since I got it, and I know why. So we're going to go ahead and get these switched out. These are also NGKs. These are the BKR5E GPs, and we are switching out with the BKR5ES11s, stock number right there, 2382. We're gonna go ahead and switch these out. All the parts today are from Rock Auto. Make sure you go check them out. That's where I got my Valvoline from. Got our VR one, which is gonna be going in here. But back to our spark plugs. So we're gonna pull these out, make sure they're properly gapped, and then we're gonna go ahead and get them put in. Like I said, our valve cover gasket's back on. Everything's cleaned out here. Now what I did was I put a little bit of parts cleaner down here in the holes after we went ahead and pulled it out, and I got those pretty cleaned up. I do have the blessing of having a portavac, so I was able to suck those out, but with all the oil in there, I didn't want to risk having any issues with our new plugs, but also never hurts to go ahead and get that stuff cleaned out. So I'm gonna get these plugs gapped and we'll get them put in the car. Alrighty, now the spark plugs are gapped, and when you go ahead and get them set, I got mine set to 1.1 millimeters, which is roughly 0.044, but there are ranges everywhere from 0.035 to 0.045. So make sure whatever your application is that you're setting it right. But for me, I'm going with the factory standard of 1.1 millimeters, which I have right here. I have a 1 and 0.1 just underneath, and our gap is perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and get these things installed and torque down to the proper specifications in order to crush this little crush washer, but not over tighten it and pull the threads out of our head. All right, so we got our spark plugs in here now. Our torque spec on these spark plugs is 13 to 18 foot-pounds. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that. I got mine set to 15 foot-pounds, and that's where I'm going to be comfortable at. So we're going to get these things torqued down, and then we're going to get that valve cover back on. Alrighty, so valve cover is back on. Love the new hardware sleeves. The little washers look cool. So you're gonna snug them down starting back here and working your way around, and then you're gonna come through here like this, and this is gonna be roughly 60 to 86 inch-pounds, which equates to right around 9 Newton meters or so. So you're gonna start back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. So valve cover back on. We're gonna go ahead and drape that harness back over. Then we're gonna get our coils back in. Now off camera, I went ahead and just put our new Bosch coil boot on. So it looks great. And here is the part number for you. Now I do have a spare, because I did order 2 of them, but when I replaced that coil, like I said, I got a new boot. So since we will be replacing this coil momentarily, probably in the next week or so, I will save this boot, since now it won't be saturated in oil like these ones over here and all swollen. So we're gonna go ahead and get these dropped in, and we have our new NGK wire set, since you guys know that 2 of our spark plugs use wires and the others 2 are coil on plug. We went ahead and got ourselves a set of these NGK wires. Great deal over at Rock Auto. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff put in place and get that harness plugged back in, and I will catch you guys when we're all done with that. And just like that, we have our coil packs back in, we have our new spark plug wires routed, went ahead and dropped our harness where it needed to be, got everything plugged in, and I went ahead and put 4 quarts of our Valvoline VR1 1030 in here. I cannot wait to feel the difference on this thing. I bet it's going to run so great, and I'm really looking forward to that. Now there's one more thing, technically 2 more things we need to do. Down here we need to replace both of these drive belts, which I have right here. So from DriveWorks, we have our belt right here. This is going to be for our alternator and our water pump. And then right here from CarQuest, we have our AC and power steering. So we're going to go ahead and get these installed. But first, let's go ahead and take those other ones out and see what they look like. Alrighty, so drive belts are out. So this one right here, this goes to our power steering and our AC. And it looks fairly decent. A little bit of wear here, some light cracking, but we'll end up replacing this one anyway, since we have a brand new belt right here. This is the part number I got for my AC and power steering. And for the water pump and alternator, yikes. Look at this. This belt is trashed, guys. Look at this. Just... oh my goodness. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go ahead and install our DriveWorks belt. This is the part number for the DriveWorks, and you can see this belt is in much better condition. So we're going to go ahead and get these put in here, and then we're going to go ahead and fire it up. So now when you do go to do these, if you're going to do them yourself, take off your strut brace and go ahead and flip your cruise control unit right here. Get it tucked over here, and then it allows you to kind of reach back in here and get to the alternator. Now you will have to loosen the bolt that's underneath at the pivot point, and then you have your tensioner here, but don't forget that you need to loosen up that bolt right there. That's the lock bolt for your tensioner. So make sure you loosen that, and then you can adjust it here. Make sure you loosen the bolt down at the bottom. Same thing over here. Loosen this bolt up here, your pivot point, and then down here you have your lock bolt will be... we just kind of, it's kind of hard to get down in there, but with the phone, let me see if I can do it right about there. And then once you get done with that, you'll be able to loosen this up right here and get them out. So very important that you put them back in the correct orientation. So your alternator belt has to go back in first, and then you can go ahead and put your power steering and AC belts on, just because of the position that they sit on the crank. But man, I cannot believe how chewed up this belt is. That explains a lot of the noises I've been hearing. So we're gonna go ahead and get these belts put on and fire this thing up. Hopefully won't hear anything weird. So I'll catch you guys when we get done getting these belts put on. Alrighty, and just like that, we went ahead and got all of our stuff back in here. So we have our belt for our AC and our power steering, and then our belt for our alternator all in there and tensioned properly. So usually when I am adjusting the tension, what I like to do is I'll take a belt section where it's pretty wide between the pulleys, and I'll bend it like this. If there's a good amount of tension going like this, but you can't flip it all the way around, it's pretty solid. I also go off of play, so if you have about a ½ an inch up and down, I think that's usually pretty good, give or take a ¼ inch. So same thing in the back there. You don't want to over tighten the belt, cause premature stretching, but at the same time you don't want to leave it too loose and have noise. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. I fired this thing up already. Check the oil level. It is great. This thing sounds fantastic. I'm so excited that that hesitation is gone. It did have a misfire, so I'm going to clear those codes, check to make sure our alternator was charging. We're at 14 volts, 14.2, so excited for that. No leaks up here. I'm going to let this thing cool down for a minute, and then we're going to get it off the rack and go take it for a test drive. But that's where I'm going to wrap it up for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed all the maintenance we did to this thing. I mean, we did valve cover gasket, we did spark plugs, spark plug wires. We did coil pack boots and an oil change. And we also did a drain plug on our oil pan. So good amount of stuff here. And we got to check out the brakes and take a look inside of our head. Looks great, except for that timing, which we'll take care of that timing belt later. But for now, I think this will be great. I'm going to go ahead and cruise this thing on home and get some additional parts ordered. There's a fair amount of things I need to get up underneath, but nothing too crazy, and definitely things that we could knock out. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until the next one, peace.